Welcome back, everybody. Chef David here from NuWave Ovens. And today we're going to do another one in our winter series of dinners in our NuWave Oven Pro. Today I'm going to roast off a beautiful leg of lamb. Okay, this is from a wonderful Chicago butcher. You can still see it has some of the bone in there, which is going to help the roasting process. I'm going to serve this today with root vegetables. Here where I live in the winter, we don't have access to all the springtime light leaves and vegetables. We have root vegetables. We have carrots. I've got celery root, wonderful turnips, these beautiful Yukon Gold, these butter potatoes. We have something really neat, which I think you're going to get a kick out of. This here, although it looks like a baby white carrot or a parsnip even, this is actually a parsley root. So when you buy parsley at the store, the green bunches, this is what they cut it off of. It actually looks like this. The reason I buy this is, one, as a root vegetable, it's very flavorful, also very healthy, but also comes with a free bunch of parsley on top, which we're going to use at the end, okay? These I just simply split in half. The potatoes I split in half. And then the carrots, the celery root, and the turnips I cut into large chunks. What I'm going to do is very simple. We'll start with the veg. I've got a glass mixing bowl here. I'm going to simply take my veg, all of them, and I'm going to mix them. I'm going to toss these with extra virgin olive oil, some butcher cracked black pepper that you know I love, some roasted pistachios, which is the twist of this recipe, and a whole bunch of freshly chopped thyme. Then I'm going to use the top of those parsley roots, which is parsley, roughly chopped at the end to garnish it. I'm going to put the root vegetables, because they're sturdy, hard vegetables, the bottom of our pan. I'm going to put the leg of lamb on top to roast it. I'm going to rub the leg of lamb with some Dijon mustard, some freshly chopped garlic, and some fresh chopped rosemary. Set that right on top of the vegetables. We're going to roast for about 18 minutes a pound on power level high in the Pro. So it's just about an hour to roast this to medium rare. Then I can do one of two things. I can take out the lamb. We're going to certainly let it rest before we slice it. And I can serve this on a platter, which I'll show you. Or, because this has this insert inside, the Pro, and it has the stay cool bottom, I can serve the whole thing right in here. Okay? So maybe we'll do both at the end. First, let's start with the vegetables. So, extra virgin olive oil. This is for flavor. That's about 3 tablespoons. That's for flavor, and also it's going to help keep the vegetables moist and so they don't burn. All right? A pinch of salt at this stage, because we know in past videos I told you when you salt vegetables, it draws out moisture. It's going to make them steam and not roast. We want these to roast and get brown and caramelized and good like that. So at the end, we'll test for seasoning, and if we need to put some salt, we will. Okay? A good, healthy pinch or two of what they call butcher black pepper, which is one of my favorites. Okay, now I've got these beautiful roasted pistachios already shelled. Basically a garnish. I love the flavor. I like that it's a little twist. And also, for some reason, in my mind, pistachios seem to go really well with fresh thyme. And here you can see I've got this wonderful freshly chopped thyme. And I'm going to put about 1/8 of a cup of that in there. And if I want, I can use some at the end for garnish. All right, they're very simple. Stir them up. That's it. Beautiful root vegetables. This is amazing. And this just to me right here says winter. This is all the stuff that you'd find down in your root cellar on a traditional farm. Okay, now watch how simple this is, guys. Goes right in. Keep my parsley root on top because this not only are they flavorful, but they do make a really exceptional looking garnish, as you're going to see later. Okay, potatoes, carrots, celery root, turnips, all the stuff you didn't want to eat when you were a kid, you're going to try tonight and you're going to love. Leg of lamb, beautiful, 3 pound. Okay, comes basically from the top of the leg. And down here you have the lamb shank. You can buy those separate and braise them. Now, the fat we're going to leave on top, but if I have an extra flabby piece like this or a piece that's hanging off, you can simply just remove it and you can compost that as well. Okay, now the rest of the fat, I take my knife and I gently score the meat one way, turn it, score it lightly the other way. I haven't gone too deep inside the meat. Every once in a while you'll get a deep cut. Maybe I'm not too happy with that. This is going to help render the fat. It's also going to help the lamb absorb the flavor of Dijon mustard. Okay? You can use the coarse grain mustard too. Sometimes they call it Pomeré mustard, coarsely grained. You can still see the mustard seeds in here. And I make sure I work that into the little cuts or the cross marks I just put onto the lamb. Okay? This is going to give a really nice acidic flavor to the lamb. Especially if you overcook lamb, it can be almost metallic tasting, almost livery. We're going to cook ours medium rare. It's going to be beautiful. So there's the mustard. And now, wonderful, especially to a kid like me growing up in an Italian household, fresh chopped garlic. Again, try to push it into those little cuts in the meat. And then we top the whole shebang with this beautiful, freshly chopped rosemary. You can buy the fresh herbs in your supermarket. There's no use or reason to use dried herbs, okay? Any good cookbook, any good chef would tell you that. Any good grandma would tell you the same thing. Now watch how simple this is. Root vegetables on the bottom. Beautiful leg of lamb. Right on top. That looks good just like it is. Now all I'm going to do now is put the power top on and the dome. Okay, make sure it sits right. And we're going to set this for high, okay? And then we're going to do so power level high. And cook time, we're going to do 55 minutes to start. And then we'll check it with a thermometer to see if it's at medium rare, which should be about 135, 140 degrees. We're going to take the lamb out, let it rest before we slice it so it doesn't, juices don't run all over the place. We're going to plate up our vegetables, slice the lamb over the top, and have a wonderful winter dinner as soon as we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Chef David here. We've been cooking all day today in our NuWave Pro Oven, and this is our leg of lamb with roasted root vegetables. Perfect winter dish. Where do you guys see this? Now this, again, we said was about 18 minutes a pound with the vegetables sitting underneath the lamb. Amazing. Little steam shot there for our camera guy. Makes him happy. Now, if you notice, the herb crust that I put on there with the mustard earlier is still here. I didn't turn the lamb over. I didn't have to. Sitting on top of the vegetables, letting the air circulate around it. Amazing. All right. Now we're going to let the lamb, anytime you roast a meat, whether it's a steak, big leg of lamb, a pork shoulder, it has to rest, okay? And two things happen here with our vegetables. Number one, if I wanted to, I'm trying to step out of frame here, but I don't know if you guys know this, but obviously this has, you know, the insert inside, but this is a cool handle. I could put this right on the table with my lamb sliced neatly over it, okay? So what I want you to see here, first of all, is these beautiful veg. Here's the parsley root we talked about earlier. I'm going to chop the tops of them, which is actually the parsley, and put it on top. Beautiful Yukon Gold potatoes. Here, let's lay them out so you can see the different veg. Here's the Yukon. Here's the parsley root. Look at this beautiful roasted turnip. And this, my friends, if you're from the Midwest, you'd know, roasted celery root. Beautiful, beautiful chunks of roasted carrots. Tell me that doesn't look phenomenal. Root vegetables, inexpensive in the winter. Now, chop up some of our parsley. And again, the parsley came free with the parsley root, so why not? Okay, roughly chop that, stems in my compost bin. Parsley has a wonderful flavor. Usually grows in a sandy loam style soil. So make sure you always rinse really well parsley leaves, whether they're connected to the root or not. Okay, that's our parsley. Now, if you remember, we tossed these, beautiful fresh thyme, and they roast it right on the lamb. So even though they roast it and they got this beautiful caramel color, can you see? Also, it kept moist because all this juice came out of the lamb. Amazing dish. So let's plate some of these up for you guys. And again, I could serve it right here if I wish. Let's start putting these out. And this is what I do while my lamb leg is resting. And the reason we let the lamb leg rest, very simple. Because of the heat right now that it was under, all the juices in here are moving, okay, inside the flesh. By letting it sit and kind of cool down and the muscles relax, the juice spreads back through the piece of meat and they don't drip out when we slice it. If you've ever sliced a hot piece of meat and had a cutting board full of juice, you know what I'm talking about. That juice should be inside the meat. And the simple reason why that always happens to you is you don't let the meat rest. It has to rest a minimum of 8 to 10 minutes, okay? So we'll finish plating up wonderful root vegetables with fresh thyme and our little hint of roasted pistachio. And if anybody tries this dish at home, please send me an email, chef@hearthware. Let me know if you thought this was good or bad. I've done this one on Thanksgiving several times, and I've had good luck with it. Okay, nice roasted vegetables that stayed moist, because it cooked on top of the lamb, okay? I mean, nothing says, to me anyway, guys, nothing says winter more than beautiful root vegetables. I mean, this is the art of stocking a cellar or a root cellar. If you do any home canning at home, I'm sure that you've got some potatoes and carrots that you grew sitting about. And even if you don't, this time of year in the winter, these vegetables are prevalent, which makes them less expensive, which is one of the reasons why I did this phenomenal dish. You can also take the juice that accumulated in the pan, cook it down a little bit, and use that as a sauce if we wanted to, okay? You can even whisk in a little Dijon mustard, some fresh rosemary, and finish the sauce like that. And that's it. That's our country-style roasted veg. Now, some of the really fresh parsley. It was so fresh, it had a root. The cameraman was laughing about that before. Butcher ground pepper. And again, remember, we didn't season the vegetables with a lot of salt earlier. We didn't want them to let their juices come out. But now that they're cooked, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of kosher salt right over the top. Going to give that a wonderful fragrance. Now, here's our meat. Here's our beautiful crust of mustard and rosemary. And you guys tell me if that doesn't look stunning at 18 minutes a pound. That's just the most amazing looking roast. Cut right around the bone. There is the bone. All right. And let's see if I can't do this neatly for you guys. You see the juice that came out? I didn't let mine rest long enough, but that's the nature of TV sometimes. But you need to let yours rest. Okay. Save all the crunchy bits for your cameraman at home. Cook this dish. Beautiful roasted leg of lamb, roasted root vegetables. Cook it up at home. Let me know what you guys think. Send me an email if you like. We'll talk soon. Enjoy, guys.